out here. We're probably not going to get in the pattern. We might do a pattern or two eventually, but... Well, actually, you know what? Either way, we're going to go over to that corner of... Pretend like we're taking off 02 there.
Okay.
Whether we actually get in the pattern, we'll see, but we're going to have to go over there anyway. Alright, let's see what this guy knows. Oh, don't tell me you're coming in here. He is. So let's hop over there. There we go. Look at this helicopter pilot. Nice. Alright. We could probably kind of loop back in behind that guy. So, left pedal. Remember, try to... It's almost easier for you always to steer with your cyclic, not so much your pedals. If you're using your pedals, you really only want to be hovering, you know, because it's a power requirement. Okay. Alright, I think we could probably do one pattern, that way we'll kind of get back in the swing of flying the helicopter. So why don't we do a one pattern with 2, or excuse me, 2-0, left hand pattern. Before you take off that way though, why don't we hang out here, point that way for a second, make sure no one's on that downwind for 2-8. No one's final for 2-0, so you're good there. Alright, so radio call, your road traffic, helicopter 522 Alpha Golf, taking off 20 for left closed traffic.
Ambrose traffic, helicopter 522 Alpha Golf. Taking off 20 for left closed traffic Ambrose.
Very good. And even here, think through, try not to steer too much with your pedals, it's more of a cyclic kind of turn here. Good. You know, may need a little bit of pedal, but you know, good. Great job. Look at 40 knots, not gonna climb. Great job. Yeah, it's getting, it was like really cold in the morning and then it got really hot, so that's why we had the doors off, but now it's kind of cooling down again. You know, you're getting old when you're complaining about obvious normal weather patterns. Like, yes, that's how days work.
What do you mean the sun is setting and we're...
Yeah. I could still complain it's cold. Very nice. Try to aim for precision.
Road traffic. Apollo says 8 miles to the north, below Father Field.
Alright.
Do a front downward entry runway 28, Hampton Road.
Right pedal. And you lost a little bit of airspeed. And I just like making my...
Traffic is better, Hampton Road.
Ambrose traffic, helicopter 522 Alpha Golf, left downwind 20 Hampton Road. Traffic helicopter 522 Alpha Golf, left base 20 Hampton Road.
Right pedal. Look at your height. Don't think about the radio call. The radio call is last. Fly the helicopter first. So I would have held off on that base because you're still at 700 feet.
Yeah, I haven't done
It's
that.
alright. You're fine. Good.
Inbound traffic, that was at 2500. What's your position?
We're about 5 miles to the west. We're Piper Cherokee. We're doing about 72 over the ground. I think you'll be able to get time before we do.
Okay, alright, we're just at 2300, almost over the field.
Alright, we'll land over at the numbers at 20 there.
Helicopter 522 Alpha Golf, final 20, Hampton Roads.
Try not to move it back and forth, just put in the input that you need. Like if you're slowing down, bring it back. Don't bring it back forward. There we go. There we go.
Ambrose traffic, Apolatus, descend out of 1,600 north crosswind leg maneuver for downwind 28 Hampton.
There we go. This is not bad. Aim for those, probably those numbers. Looks like it's working. Good. Nice. Very nice. Get to where you need to be. There we go. Good. Now start. Keep slowing down. You're doing fine. Stay calm. Good. Pushing forward. Great. Great job. All right. We're gonna pick up. We're gonna go to the taxiway there. Once it's basically next to the sign there, the Delta taxiway sign. So try to steer into the wind, kind of like you're a car or like an airplane. Not. Yeah. Try not to do too many pedal turns unless you're hovering.
There, traffic Cherokee 03 November over the landfill for the 45 downwind for
Great
28, full
job.
stop.
We're gonna kind of do that and then kind of face that way.
And Ridge traffic, Helicopter 522 Alpha Golf, clear all runways on the Delta taxiway north of 28 Hampton Roads.
And roads, Apolatus, turn in left base 28 Hampton.
All right, let's get down into a hover here. We'll face the opposite direction. So I would have waited until I got to a hover because you're asking two things at once with that helicopter. That's why it got sloppy.
Yeah.
You're fine. Tell you what, I've got the controls.
Give it control.
Calm down. We'll give it back to you. You're not doing anything wrong. All right. You got the controls. Let's do an air taxi to the end there.
Okay.
Good. There we go. Through ETL. That wasn't bad, that transition, but I think you needed pedal work a little bit on it. A little bit better. There we go. So this is a little slow. So
Road traffic,
right about here is your
5
peak.
miles south, set up for 45 entry to the left downwind 28, full stop.
Right pedal. Look outside. Calm. Stay calm. Smooth out those cyclics. Good. Good. Lower that clutch a little bit. You need to, yeah, smooth out those movements.
Alright.
Smooth movements. Smooth. It's almost like you're in Jello. Just kind of smooth everything out. A little tiny bit lower, and then we will do a pedal turn either direction here.
Hey there, traffic Cherokee 03 November established on the downwind 28, full stop.
Stay calm. So tell you what, before we transition to slopes or anything like that, why don't we practice here on the nice and level ground? We'll do a nice landing. You're facing into the wind. This is fine. Set it down. Choose a spot you want to land at. Why don't we just land right there where the black lines be. Look outside. Look further away. Nice. Nice. Good. You're fine. There we go. Perfect. Right on the spot. Everything was calm. Let's do that again. You feel your heart rate right now?
Yeah.
Try to keep it like that the entire time when we're in the air. Like right now, it's stress-free because you're confident that the ground is keeping you here. You know, when the wind is relatively light, or even when we have a upwind, when we're upwind, you should be this confident too. Calm.
Okay.
All right, we'll pick back up. Again, be relatively confident. It's not blowing you around that much, so it's gonna be no worries. The helicopter is gonna be where it needs to be.
And then traffic Cherokee 03 November, left base 28, full stop.
I'll lower that. Pretty keep breathing. Keep looking outside. This is about where that friction point is, so not bad, but
Yeah.
it was definitely going that way, right? So take your time. Is that it's like I said, it's when that it's almost like a clutch pedal. Like, hey, just ride that clutch pedal for a second. The car doesn't have to move forward.
Right.
Same thing with this. The helicopter doesn't have to get off the ground. See where you are right now? Super calm. Everything's freaking awesome, right?
Yeah.
Try to keep that mindset. All aspects of flight. Yeah, you're gonna get a little nervous when you get a wind, but right here, this is your safe spot. You're doing well. All right, we're gonna do another air taxi. Focus on getting a little higher. Well, your height wasn't that bad, but a little faster at the peak there.
Okay.
We'll just do a normal air taxi. You don't have to do a rapid decel here. Good. A little tiny bit higher. For this distance, you kind of want to be like maybe a hangar height, like one of those big hangars like that guy. Yeah, probably about here should work. So you're about keep it, move for it. You're about halfway now, so now start lowering that collective. Don't pull back on that cycling too much yet. Lower the collective. There we go. A little bit of right pedal. Look at the end of the taxiway. Yeah, there we go. It's going to continuously slow down. Keep slowing down. Keep slowing down. Pull back. There we go. Good. All right, let's do a pedal turn. Any direction's fine. All right, we'll go on that way. Another nice air taxi. Left pedal. There we go. There we go. Keep it moving forward a little more. The deer over there. Not much faster than this. This is about the speed that you want. All right, start lowering that collective. Lower that collective. Lower that collective. A little bit of right pedal. Look outside. Look outside. Nice. Try not to move this. Unnecessary wiggles. There we go. Good. Good. All right. Do another pedal turn. Face that way. All right. Let's try landing and picking up. We're gonna go with this grass here. It's flat, so you don't have to worry about a slope. But we want to make sure we're not sliding around.
There's traffic Cherokee 034 taxiing from Charlie to West Ramp.
Yeah, about here should work. In fact, let's go forward just a little bit. That way our tail. Feather in my eye. Alright. Yeah, about here should work. Just look outside. Take it nice and slow. You see those wiggles? That's because keep your nose on that. There we go. Good. You come down. Tiny bit. There we go. Alright, not terrible. Alright. Let's do another air taxi through the whole shoreline, and then we're gonna cut across over there. We're gonna do slopes over at the other. In fact, you know what? I forgot. While we're here, why don't we do this Governor Off stuff here?
Okay.
So tell you what, we'll get up into hover, get back on this yellow line here.
Okay. Picking up.
I'm gonna turn off your carburetor heat. You don't need that right now. second, but I'll probably take the controls so we could, when we get there, so we could, I could demonstrate. Alright. Okay, I've got the controls.
Get the controls.
I'm gonna have you identify the governor, and then you're gonna turn that off.
Okay, governor off.
You see the governor light comes on?
Yes.
If you'll notice, nothing's happening with the collective. Right now I'm gonna hover, in fact I'm gonna climb. Nothing is crazy, because well, part of it is also because I'm making small movements with the collective. If I was making bigger ones, like here, I might think like the rotor RPM or the engine RPM is a little low, so I'm gonna roll on a little bit, feel what I'm doing. It's not a lot. See, that's enough to do whatever I needed to do. So now when I'm hover taxiing, all I'm doing is maybe, you know, if I'm a little standoffish on the foam portion, now I'm a little further up here because I know I'm gonna have to like roll on and roll off. In fact, right now, basically my pinky is on the aluminum, my other 3 fingers, well actually I'm always like this, but I'm up, I'm ready to roll on that, that foam portion. Right now, again, I'm not doing anything with the throttle. Like right now, maybe I'll roll off just a little bit. You see how it twitched like that? So I'm gonna roll off a little bit. But right now, I'm just hover taxiing. You can go ahead and feel the cyclic, feel all my controls. I'm just keeping it here. Now your CFI, your instructor is gonna slowly roll off that throttle to kind of simulate, because otherwise it's gonna stay here forever. Right. You're never gonna have a low RPM. I'm gonna roll off, but I'm pulling up on the collective because I've told myself that I need to stay the same height. Like right now, technically I could recover because it is low RPM. That's officially low RPM. But we're gonna go to the horn. I'm pulling up on that collective. Oh, I don't like that. Lower, roll on. See how small that was though? Yeah. It was the lower that really kind of brought it back. It's not so much anything else. And the roll on was just slight. So same thing here. I'm looking outside. I'm not staring at the RPM. I'm looking outside. Oh, lower, roll on, pull. I'm almost being super tight on my grip. You know, we worked this entire, whatever, 16 hours where I told you to be light on the controls. Right. In this case, my left hand is almost super grippy, you know. Mostly on the aluminum portion still, but on that foam portion too. Roll on, and I gotta be on top of my pedals too. Alright, I'm gonna turn around. Alright, I'm gonna air taxi the ad, and I'm gonna give you back the controls here when we turn around. Again, you'll notice I'm not doing anything. I'm a little more firm than I am normally. And even there, the only reason I'm a little more firm in this is because the throttle is a little stiffer on this than it is in Whiskey Sierra. If it was in Whiskey Sierra, I'd actually be a little looser than I am now. I've got to have a kind of a firm grip on that foam portion, because small movements actually, because it's so stiff, I'm purposely not, you know, I'm tensing up my arm because I don't want to roll too fast or too much. I'm talkative. Alright, let me give you the controls here. You've got the controls. I have the controls. Don't even worry about the RPMs right now. Just hover here. Because you know it's not going to move anywhere. Because you're not asking any more power here. Bring that collective up a little bit. Good. Alright, why don't we hover that way? Again, I'm not doing anything. I'm not surprising you out with anything. I just look at, you know, scan out there, scan down there. Like right now, that's fine, right? Perfect. Here in a bit, I'm going to start rolling off. But again, don't worry about it. I'm going to have you stay the same exact height over the ground. Hold that cyclic. Yeah, that's fine. And then when you recover, remember just to lower a little bit and roll a little bit. And you may even have to pull back the collective up because we don't want to touch the ground. about it this way. The thing that's bringing your RPMs back isn't the throttle movement. It's the lowering the collective.
Got it.
You know? Okay, recover. Smaller.
I think I'm anticipating resistance from the throttle.
Yeah, there is resistance. There's a lot of resistance, so you have to be even more firm on that throttle because you're overpowering the spring, but you also don't want to do too much, so you're kind of being really tight on it. You have to be really tight on it, kind of like that. Imagine trying to make small movements on that. All right, I'm gonna roll that throttle on just a tiny bit for you. All right, let's make a pedal turn.
Okay.
All right, let's air taxi to the end there. Maybe roll on just a tiny bit. There we go, better. So whether you know it or not, you actually rolled on, and that's the type of roll on you need.
Oh, okay.
It's just firm up your grip is basically what it is. Don't. All right, start slowing down, and maybe roll off just a tiny bit. There we go, better. Lower that collective. Lower that collective. Right pedal. I'm gonna roll on just a tiny bit for you. There we go. Good. So here, I'm gonna have you just focus on hovering for a second. To roll on that collective. No, it's okay. Roll on that collective. Don't even lower the lowering collective. Roll on that throttle a little bit. There. See that?
Yeah.
That's what you need. It's that tight. In fact, let's roll on the throttle a little tiny bit more. There we go. Good. And you could already see it. You see how the helicopter did that? Because torque. All right. Let's turn around. All right. You're doing well. I like how you're feeling out that throttle and you're figuring it out. Good. Now every helicopter is different because this one has a sticky throttle, so that's why you kind of have to do that firm grip. All right, let's try this again. We're gonna maintain the same height. Do not recover until I tell you to recover. And when you recover, it's basically lower the collective, roll on just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. Great job. I'm gonna start rolling off, so keep the same height. Pull that collective a little more. There we go. Recover, lower. There we go. Not bad. Now pull back. So even myself, sometimes I catch myself. Like if I feel like that was too much of a roll on, roll off a little bit. All right, let's try it again. Keep going forward. Look outside. All right, good. I'm rolling off, but it's okay. It's okay. Okay, lower, roll, nope, opposite direction.
Drop.
Yeah, and you went the opposite direction. You pulled off. So I had to stop you a little bit.
Yep.
So stay calm. It's lower roll on. If anything, don't worry about the throttle. Throttle's the last thing. Like I said, the thing that's bringing your rotors back is you lowering the collective.
Right.
You're just rolling on to fight the correlator. I rolled on just a tiny bit for you. All right. Keep it there. Keep it hovering. Keep it going that way. Hover taxiing that way. All right. I'm going to slowly roll off here. Keep the same height. Lower. Roll on. All right. It's all right. Tell you what. I've got the controls.
Okay.
Calm down. We'll give it back to you in a second. Yeah, it's a lot.
Much better at first.
No, you were not. You totally were not. That first one was terrible.
Okay.
So a second ago, maybe 5 minutes ago, the last turnaround, was actually the best you did. All right, so here, I'm going to give you the controls.
Okay.
You've got the controls.
Control.
Stay calm. Keep going that way for a second. I'm going to roll off here. It's okay. Keep that height. Pull that collective. Now lower, roll on. No, small.
Yeah.
So, I'll give you a hint. I've got the controls.
Get control.
doing a little bit, see here, I'm gonna have to roll on because the correlator rolled it off. The correlator's rolling it off because I'm removing angle of attack, and it's like, it knows I don't need it. Anyway, maybe part of this, so I am like this, I'm almost bracing, I'm bracing this, and I'm rolling, this is backwards for me, which way, no, wrong way. So I'm almost kind of using that as a brace, and I'm kind of, look what I'm doing, rolling off, I'm rolling on. I'm almost using the aluminum portion as a friction point, you know, because I know I can't, it's hard to, I'm rolling off. In fact, this is on the aluminum portion, and I'm using that as a brace to kind of roll on, because I know I don't want to do it crazy. Roll off. I don't want to do it crazy. So why don't you play around with that? So right now, why don't you bring it back to the green? All right. Now roll it off slowly. Good. Keep playing around with it. Figure out what you want to do. For it, yeah. Again, I'm almost pinched down on the aluminum portion, and I'm kind of doing that deal because this throttle is kind of it's stiff. We'll feel around Whiskey Sierra, and you'll realize it's a little kind of like I almost want to do the opposite with that one because it's so smooth. It's like it's too much, and then I give it too much that way if it's too light. So you know. All right. I've got the controls. So picking up is a little weird. You're not gonna have to do the zero check ride, so that's why I'm keeping it. So you see I'm pulling up on the collective and it's already coming up. Yeah. The engine RPMs because it's trying to help me out. It's trying to roll that throttle on for me. But I don't need it to, so I'm purposely rolling off, purposely rolling off, purposely rolling off. And now, like right now, I'm focused on that. I'm not even caring about outside because it's like that clutch friction point, right? I know I'm not going to climb off the ground until I feel it, like about here is when it starts to climb off the ground. Now I'm going to start focusing outside. Maybe I'll roll off just a little more. Alright, now I'm focusing outside. Maybe that was too much, so that's alright. I'm going to roll on again. Now I'm kind of doing outside, here. There we go. Alright. You got tailwind there. So I'm gonna give you the controls here. Let's do an air taxi there, and then we'll try it one more time. You've got the controls. Good. Not a worry in the world. RPMs are fine. Great. Great job. Just, yeah, with the governor's off, but that's part of your scan. Lower that collective now. Alright, a little bit of right pedal and hold that left cyclic just a little bit. Left cyclic. Yeah, just to keep us over the ground. Good. Keep us slowing down. As you start pulling up, that's fine. Good. Alright. Look at the RPM. So here you're gonna roll on. There we go. That's perfect. That amount of roll on is fine. All right. Let's make a pedal turn. Just keep scanning. No, don't do those power movements with the governor off because it's gonna spike the energy, right? It's just gonna give you more to worry about if you do those quick movements in your pedal. All right. Let's travel down there. Again, I'm not rolling off yet. I'll let you know when I'm doing that. But when I do that, I just want you to stay the same exact height over the ground. What that entails is probably going to pull up collective. When I say recover, you're going to lower and roll on. hovering, keep us hovering. Hovering, hovering, hovering. Alright, lower, roll on. Smaller, smaller. It's fine, you're not doing anything wrong. You're doing better than you were that first time. That first time I totally saved you by an helicopter. That one wasn't terrible. Alright, keep it hovering. Alright, recover, lower. The wrong way. Yeah. Alright, you're fine. Hold it over the thing. Alright. Keep it going. You're doing fine. Alright, recover by lowering. Roll on. There we go. That was perfect. Okay? That wasn't bad. Again, I even kind of slipped down a little bit. The aluminum's kind of down here. I'm kind of being really, I don't know. Alright. Doing well. Keep going that way. Alright. Keep it going. Recover. There we go. Alright, what could make this more perfecter is stay on top of your pedals too. Alright, keep it going. I'm gonna roll off for you. Alright, lower, roll on, left pedal. Next time, pedal at the same time. That's alright, keep left pedal. You're still in control here. I haven't done anything yet. Good. Alright, pretty good. Tell you what, identify, wait, let me roll on just a little bit for you. Alright, identify that governor and turn that back on.
Okay, governor on.
Alright, cool. You're on a normal flight again. Why don't we air taxi back there, and then air taxi back just to give it. In fact, I've got the controls.
Yep, controls.
Sorry.
Very good.
Clear your mind. Get back. Remember to breathe again. And then I'll give it back to you, and then we'll do a couple pickups and downs over there at the that slope landing area.
As the Avengers would say, the sun's getting awfully low there, big guy.
Great.
It's always nice to include stuff like that on my YouTube channel.
It's good for the algorithm,
right? So I can get sued.
I found it hilarious when they were in was it Ragnarok that they made fun of it, because I totally thought that was like, that's a stupid line. That's such a weird line. Alright, air taxi all the way to the end there. I'm going to give you the controls here. You've got the controls.
Okay, I have the controls.
Air taxi to the whole short line, then we'll figure out what the airplanes are doing, then we'll cut across and then hang out over there in that grass area. There we go. Once we, Mike, I know I'm kind of splitting your attention right now, but in the last year, we're going to realize, like, remember, earlier helicopters didn't even have a governor, so it was, I'd see you roll off in the wrong direction. Kind of think of it this way: when you pull up on the collective, your wrist kind of naturally rolls on. When you lower, it naturally rolls off. So ultimately, there's a natural reaction to your wrist. You never want to like lower and roll off, or at least not for the purpose that we're doing.
Right.
Your wrist is naturally aligned for that lower and roll on, and that raise and roll off.
Right.
So, don't fight your body. Alright, I know they were talking a chapter of the Bible somewhere in there, but I haven't been listening to that. Double check there's no one behind us. Alright. Air road traffic helicopter 522 Alpha Golf crossing both sets of runways for the west ramp. Air roads. Alright, we'll go over there. Basically, cut across the corner there. There we go, good. And then we'll end up in that little triangle area where we normally, where we practice some of our set downs. Good. one, and then you're going to do one. The idea here is it's not altogether different than the flat ground in a lot of ways, but unlike the flat ground, one skin's going to touch first, the other one's going to slowly come touch the ground second. The idea here is you're controlling how fast or slow that left skid gets to touch the ground with your collective. One thing I've noticed with a lot of people is they kind of let the pedals loose. Like, don't. Just tell the helicopter you want your nose right there. Don't let it go this way or that way, which is something that tends to happen because we're lowering the collective. We're basically reducing torque, so it wants to kind of do this number, and I'm exaggerating, but just this amount of wandering is enough for the helicopter to start wobbling, and then you start losing confidence in trying to keep this nice stable helicopter to touch the ground. You know, so you want to, again, my focus here is outside, maybe just beyond the that ditch there. I'm constant left pressure on my pedal. I'm more focused on my pedals in a lot of ways than anything else. And I feel my right skid on the ground, and I'm slowly bringing that left skid down. I know, easier said than done. No worries. But we're gonna do that same thing, and I'm gonna pick back up. So another kind of thing. But neutralize your cyclic. Now we're kind of bring it back here. As again, there's that friction point, right? I'm pulling up on that collective. Like here's the friction point. It's like that clutch friction point, right? So right there. I know if I pull more than that, it's like me releasing the clutch. It's the engine's going through my wheel. So here, I'm just keeping it here for a second and feeling it out. I'm feeling out that friction to, oh, it's starting to touch the ground, or I'm starting to see movement. So I'm pulling back on that side because it's lurching forward a little bit. Here, I don't. Again, it's kind of that. It's already kind of lifting up. It's going to pivot over the right side, skid there. But before I leave the ground, I'm going to have to put in left cyclic to kind of unhook off the ground. Okay. And if you'll notice, it was kind of a lot of cyclic. It was kind of a lot of left cyclic. It's not just, it's maybe a good like inch and a half, which sounds like a little, but if you know.
Runway 220, empty road.
That's plenty in this helicopter. Alright, I'm going to give you the controls here. Okay. You've got the controls. Just hover here. Don't even worry about the ground. You've got the controls.
I have the controls.
Just hover. Everything's calm. You can do this all day. Alright, now we're going to start sending down by letting that collective come down. You see those wiggles? Because you're letting that nose wander over there. You're going to have to need constant left pressure on that pedal. It's going to, I'm exaggerating, but it's going to be like that, because you're doing something with the torque. Alright, look outside, maybe even point your nose right at that white box out there. Nice, very nice. Hold that left pedal. You're doing fine, hold that left pedal. Lower that tips a little bit, there we go. There we go, hold that. Good. Lower, there we go. That was pretty good, pretty good for that first time slope landing. That is the precision you would see like for people that are actually check ride ready. That was very good. Maybe that was probably a fluke though, so. Alright. If you'll notice, you're kind of this way, probably because we let it go just at the very last second, but that's fine. To get this more perfecter, you're not going to let that nose, like I said, you've got some pretty obvious landmarks here. You got that water and you got that thing there, so just keep our skids that way. It's not always, you're not always going to have that benefit, but in this case, it's helping you out so you're not going to wiggle around, because when you wiggle around, people get nervous, you get nervous, and you're kind of like, oh, I'm not going to be able to make this landing. Well, if it's not wiggling and it's perfectly stable, you get confident, and the only way you're going to get it perfectly stable is it's the pedals. Okay. All right. when you pick up, remember, you can practically pull up any speed you want up until that friction point. It's like a clutch, so pull it up until we get to that friction point, and then just feel it around. It's a two-stage pickup, just like when we're on flat ground. Alright. It's starting to feel like it's getting there, so just keep it here for a second. Stop the collective. It's going to go in that way. You don't want it to go that way. If anything, you want it to kind of pivot on the right pedal, because that's the upslope, or right skid. Slow. So when we're on a slope, you want this friction point to be slow. You kind of feel it out, and then so it's going to be that way. I feel it already. We're still doing that number. Feel it out. Hold it here. Hold that. Hold that. All right. When you lift the collective more, you're going to have to put in left cyclic. Okay. All right. Now keep pulling. There we go. Perfect. Right there. No, that's it. Good job. All right. Let's try that landing one more time, just to prove that, like I said, it's real. Why don't we left pedal turn there, come back just a little bit. In real life, you wouldn't put your tail into the upslope, but for the purposes of where we're going, this is fine.
It's going to turn around.
Yeah, no, that's fine. It's like the friction point thing I was saying. You need to get to the ground a little, not sooner, well, a little sooner. Get it down there, or else it's gonna, it's both the vortices, both everything, that's just gonna add to your wiggleness, and you're never gonna get there. You gotta lower it, you know, you don't have to dump it, but you lower it some till we get there. Right skid touches first, or upslope touches first, and then that's when you start slowing down. That's when you keep that collective up a little bit, and then slowly bring that down that way. All right, good.
All right, picking up.
Yep. We'll pick back up and, yeah, probably wander back. I think that was pretty good. I'll look outside. Take it slow. Right here, hold that. This is the friction point, so I already feel it's kind of going that way, so maybe pull back a little bit, tiny bit that way. And then when we unhook off the ground, it's going to be left cyclic. Okay. All right. There we go. Not bad. All right. Let's wander over there. Take the long way. That way we're not bothering the Cherokee there. Good. I think you were picking up what I was putting down all day or all afternoon. That was pretty good. I think the big thing that we were kind of feeling out today was the throttle. Again, this is a heavy throttle, so it's a little sticky, so you gotta have to. so heavy, it's one of those, like, you have to fight yourself from going too fast.
Yeah, I need to sit and practice with it without the engine.
Yeah.
I just need to get a feel for it.
Fuel. I think we're fine with fuel. Just park in front of the hangar there. Hold on. All right, we put in. Nice fine control, or you can get finer control, but I've seen worse out of you, so this is not bad.
Well, I can tell you my arm has not come off my leg as far as I know.
Yeah.
Been working on that. I actually found a
Do you
way-
remember to breathe? That's what people, I think even I catch myself like, oh shit, yeah, remember to breathe. Oh, hey, helicopter flies a lot better when you're breathing. From the wind, so it doesn't matter which direction you're landing. Take it easy, look outside. Keep coming down though. So
That was not good.
no, it was fine. The reason for that was you need to put pedal movements when, so you were at a constant rate up until the end when you were trying to rush it. So it's either or. You could be relatively fast to lower that collective, but if you just spent the last 2 minutes doing this whole super slow,
Right.
that last second when you go relatively fast, it changes the torque. So now the pedals aren't constant.
Right.
So why don't we try it just one more time? Pick up, be relatively quick pickup, and then we'll put it back down.
Okay.
This time when we set down, focus on a constant rate to the ground,
Okay.
a constant rate descent. Good pickup. And the reason for that is you didn't have to do any weird pedal movement because we kind of did that for our own pickup. All right, look outside. Yeah, if this is the speed you want, that's fine, but you got to maintain that for the descent. See? So it's like I said, if that's the speed you want, that's still probably a little too slow, but make it a constant.
Okay.
That way you don't have to do any weird pedal movement.